Okay, good morning, everybody, or whatever time of day it is for you. Hope you're having a great one. We're going to make a phone pouch today out of slow stitching and just simple stitches, basic. Uh, a lot of times when I just want to create something, I get a little container and I go around and I just pick stuff, just pieces of scraps, uh, no rhyme or reason. I just start throwing them in there, and then I make myself use that and create. What that has done for me over the years is get me out of the box, get me out of the mundane, doing the same thing every day. Uh, it makes me not structure, not plan, just work in the moment. It's just very creative, and it really helps you design your own stuff and lose that fear of not having a pattern or knowing what you're going to do in advance. So anyway, that's what I did. I grabbed this little tub and I made one side of my little foam pouch already out of what's in this thing here. And I really thought that turned out cute. And now I'm ready to do the other side. And I thought I'd show you how I do that. And just, it's not difficult, but yet, it's just, it takes a little, you got to be a brave soul. Just jump in there and do something. Which side of this do we want to use? I think this coordinates better with that, don't you? Okay, let's just use a little bit of this fabric. Okay, let's just start here with something and see where we can build from that. This copper fabric here is just really a great color. On this one, I used the motif that was on there. But this one, I think I just want the color play. Let's see. I like to toss them out as I use them. That way I know what I've got left. That looks kind of interesting. This is a piece of pink. Ooh, that would go pretty with that. Let's get a piece of this to go up the side. I think that's long enough. Oh, I really like that. Let's take him up the side here. Also, one thing I've learned is that when you're collaging, that first layer you put down, don't sweat it, because if you don't like it, you can add other things on top that totally change it. And do I want this here? I want this. I think I want that like that. Okay, what else we got here? I thought that's kind of cool. Can we use that some way or another? We might make that just a focal point. So what do we need to put? What do I have? I have this green. That would work good. Need a square of that. See if I cut that big enough. I think I did. Let's put it under here. Lay it across so it covers. Whoops. Let me see if I can do that a little different. I didn't really cut it big enough. Is that one any bigger? Not really. Well, we'll just have to get a second layer on top of that. Let's put that one over here like that. And this one over here like this. Okay, well that didn't do too bad after all. And if we come back in here with this, wow, that looks cool already, doesn't it? Now we got this little piece here that we could break that up just a little bit. And we got a little piece here that might look good under there. Oh, what do you think? I think I like it. Let's pin that down. So this part, and see where we are then. Okay, all right. I'm just going to use straight stitches. I'm just basically going to get this sewed down before I make any more design decisions about it. So let me do that off camera and not bore you guys to death with that, and I'll be back and we'll see what else we're going to do with this. We've got to this point here. I have made both sides and I have stitched them down. I did this off camera. I didn't do a whole lot of stitching, but I did some. Let's just see what I did here. I'm going to leave this part unstitched. Added a little stitching out here, left this one unstitched. Some here not done, this one stitched, okay? Now, this side, if you want to see what that looks like, I stitched this piece here, and I stitched down through there, leaving this undone, okay? Now, the way that I'm making a lining is just very simple. It's kind of a what I think boho style. If you were doing it by hand and you didn't have a machine and you're just very primitive, this is how I did it. If you can see the back here, okay, what I'm going to do is connect these with side stitching, a blanket stitch around it. So raw edges with a blanket stitch is how it's going to be. So I cut a piece of this fabric and I lined it up even at the bottom. Let's see how we can do that. Okay, I lined it up even at the bottom. Let me just pin that. Okay. Then I brought it up to the top. Let's just secure this so it won't shrink back down. I turned it over. Okay. All right, this side I'm going to trim a little bit. Looks like it's going a little bit up on that side. Okay, now what I did was I took this overage, I folded it in half. I'll put a fold in it, kind of finger crease it, and brought it over the edge. Okay, that would cap off that top edge. Now the top edge, capping it off is important because that's the edge that you're going to be sliding the phone in and out of. And we're not closing it down with any blanket stitch, so we need to protect those raw edges from totally fraying out on us. And so this is how I'm doing it. All just using scraps in a very primitive way. Think about how people might have done it before they had all the modern conveniences. So we have our two sides there. And so when we put those together and we blanket stitch around the edges, that top part is going to be capped off, okay? Very simple. But now what I'm going to do right now, before I do that, is I'm going to baste this down so I can take the stitches out. And let me get some just regular thread for that. And take the pins out before I try to do the blanket stitching around it. So let's do that. Just going to just show you a little of the, I'm just going to baste, period, with a straight stitch, a little bit inside the seam line, or right along it, but not going through to the front side, just catching that batting just enough that it will allow us to hold this in place. Okay, and all of this will be on the inside and will not show. And if you catch it right about where you think that you'll be doing your blanket stitch, then it actually gets kind of incorporated into that stitch at the same time, and which makes it not going to pull out on you later. Because once you get it together, you don't want to have to go inside and try to get all these basting stitches out. They're not going to hurt anything to stay in there. And again, we're just catching the batting. There's batting on both sides. So this is going to be a nice padded pouch. I'm not putting a top closure or a flap or anything like that on it because I don't like to have to go through all that stuff just to get my phone. I have one like that, and it has a flap and it's Velcro and all that, which is, you know, okay. But I just really want a pouch that's strictly for just protecting my phone. And, you know, when it's in your purse or something like that, if it's open, that front part can get really scratched up and abused. So if you have something to slip it in, it just really is nice. And then if you slip it in that and you know, laying it around or in the car or something like that, should it fall or something, it'd have a little padding. And this is, if I measured it right from my phone, it's going to fit pretty snug. Okay. Again, this is going to be sewed together well, this part. But right now, let me get that back out of there. That just doesn't want to work with those pins right there. Do this a little at a time. Come on. Okay. I don't want to take those pins out because they're holding that part that we turned over, that hem at the front top. They're holding that secure. So we don't want to take it out. But I think you get the point. I'll finish basting around that. I can remove this pin at this point. And then when I get to the point where I'm going to start blanket stitching it, then I will put that on camera and show you that. But I hope you're going to try this cute little pouch. Very primitive, very just done in your lap type thing. No sewing machine, no fancy linings, no fancy anything. And try some for yourself using your scraps. All right, I'll be back in a little while. I have done the stitching across the top of both of these. And this top is open. Now I have pinned these together, and I'm going to start the blanket stitch. So I always forget how to start this blanket stitch, so I hope I get this right the first time. I come in about the distance that I want to be on that first one. Okay, and I have a knot in my thread, and I'll bury that in the center. All right, to reinforce this top, I'm going to double stitch this top. Give me a, okay, I don't want this top to be loose or come undone, and that's the one that's going to have the most stress on it. So we'll just get both of those in there. Okay, now let's see. How did I do this? Like I said, I always forget this part. Come up at the top. That's not right. That's not right. I'm supposed to be up there. Let's go ahead and we'll do that again. Come up at the top. Let's see, is that right? Is that right? Well, I'm already up there at the top. Maybe it's this way. Oh yeah, I'm already up there. What am I talking about? Okay, I'll get that one right there. Don't look to me for instructions on stitches. I can't remember from time to time how do I do certain stitches. I have to remind myself. Maybe that's my age, I don't know, but anyway. Now, I think we got it going. And you want to loop it through that top loop. And yeah, now, there we go. That makes our blanket stitch. See, that wasn't hard. I made it hard. And I've got quite a bit of bulk here, so it's going to take a little bit to get this needle through everything. So if we just go slow and easy, we'll get it done. I'm using a pretty dusty pink thread, kind of like a shabby chic thread on a boho foam pouch. Now that's a combination, I think, but it's very pretty actually. It looks really great across that green. And we do have a lot of rose and pink color in our fabrics in this. Make sure that you loop your thread behind so that it will make that loop for you. Okay, looking good. Again, you can make, you can judge your width of your blanket stitch. I always do according to what I'm going to use it for. If it's not going to be used that much, a wider space is okay. But that's looking pretty good, isn't it? Both sides. Okay. All right. Take another one. Okay. And that's how we'll be doing the blanket stitch all the way down and around and back up. And then I will put, let's see, I had 3 up here, so I'll put 3 again on this side to match it. And then that would be very secure tuck for the phone. Okay, so I'll be back when I get that done. Well, what do you think? I love it. I love it. I love it. I did a pretty neat job on my blanket stitch around. I had a little problem here. I didn't realize I had cut the green fabric a little short, but you know what? That falls under perfectly imperfect. Beautiful, doesn't it? Yeah, I know. Agree with me, right? Okay. Anyway, it just gives it the handmade look, and it's just, wow. It's just beautiful. I just love it. And I can't show you my phone in here, but it fits perfectly because I'm videoing with my phone right now, but it fits perfectly in here. It's well padded since it has batting in the middle and two sides of that on each side. So it's nice and cushioned, and it's just easy to slip it in and slip it out. Really nice. I love it. That side and this side, they're totally different looks, all made out of just scraps, straight stitches, and a blanket stitch. That's all that's on here. Straight stitches and a blanket stitch on both sides. Just beautiful. This little sequin piece really sets it off, gives it a real boho look. And I like boho, and you need to do scrappy boho, that's even better. Okay, I reinforced the edges up here with 3 passes on that blanket stitch, just because that's going to be where the stress is getting your phone in and out. The phone, when it's laying on there, has about a 1/2 inch like that clearance on both sides. So what I did when I put my phone down and measured it was I gave myself a little bit more than a 1/2 inch, probably a 3/4 inch on both sides. So 1.5 inches, whatever the width of my phone was, I added 1.5 inches, and that became the width of that, and then the length of my phone. So you just figure out what size that you need for the phone that you have, and you see how easy this was to construct. No complicated lining put in very simply, just straight stitches and a blanket stitch and all your different scraps. So I hope you enjoyed that, and in the meantime, you know what to do. Yep. If you can stay scrap happy, that means you're taking time to play a little, relax a little, and help the environment by using all those scraps that would go in the trash otherwise. So thank you for that. And may you have a nice, slow, relaxing day. Bye-bye.